All right, guys. So there was a rail strike that was on the brink of happening last week. It's a very interesting story. You had the rail companies were really squeezing their workers. I mean, they were working them to the bone. And effectively what they wanted was not just a raise, which of course they wanted a raise, but beyond that, they wanted to get themselves some time off so that they can go to the doctor and do regular run-of-the-mill life stuff. Apparently, their schedules are so hectic and so extreme that they weren't able to do something like take a day off and go to the doctor. And there were even instances where people were, disciplined or fired as a result of run-of-the-mill, taking a day off because I have to type stuff. So it's really crazy. Now, at the last minute, you had Biden intervened, and he was able to work out like a tentative deal where they have like a 30-day cooling off period, and then the membership will vote. The workers will vote on whether or not they accept the deal. I'll tell you guys right now, my sense of it is they're not going to accept the deal. They're not going to accept the deal because, honestly, the deal is kind of silly. I think they only get 1 day off. So they did negotiate a raise, but then I think they only get 1 day off, which is preposterous, right? I don't even know if it's a paid day or not. I think I may have read it was unpaid, although I could be wrong on that. Comment in the video description box if you know. Well, anyway, even just the little amount that Biden got involved, and all of his commentary, by the way, has been like, I'm on the side of the workers. And he expressed concern behind the scenes about the workers. And like, he was perplexed that, the rail companies had such a shitty deal for their people. But, he intervened. It's not like he came in and saved the day and got them like 2 weeks paid time off. No, again, they got like 1 day and I'm not even sure if it's paid. And, then they can't get fired for it. So it's a tiny step in the right direction. But my guess is the workers are going to vote it down. Well, anyway, Fox News looks at this situation and they are furious at the fact that Biden got involved at all, and extra furious because he dared to, pay some lip service to the workers' concerns over the rail company. So let's take a look and we'll break it down as we go here.
We had news breaking earlier this morning. There's a tentative deal reached to avoid a railroad strike. What's in the deal? Do we know?
It's being reported that more time off is what broke the logjam and got us to this tentative deal. So 24% pay raises, cash bonuses, unpaid time.
So far, that's good. 24% pay raise, cash bonuses. Not bad so far.
Time off so workers could go to the doctor. President Biden says this is a...
Did she say unpaid? Let me run that back just a little bit here.
Is unpaid time off so
there you go.
Workers could go to the doctor.
Unpaid, and again, what I read is that it was 1 day, which is wild, man.
President Biden says this is a win for the unions. They're a key voting bloc. This is just weeks before the midterm elections. Here's what Labor Secretary Marty Walsh says. He was crucial in these negotiations following more than 20 consecutive hours of negotiations. The rail companies and the union negotiators came to a tentative agreement that balances the needs of workers, businesses, and our nation's economy. This strike would have cost $2 billion a day.
Now, by the way, this is why they have leverage. This is why the workers have leverage. If it's going to cost $2 billion a day, if it's going to mess up the supply chain even more, well, I guess you better come to the table in good faith and cut a real good deal. Now, again, my guess is, and I don't know for sure, but my guess is they're going to vote this deal down, and then it's back to the drawing board, it's back to the negotiation table, and hopefully they can get a couple more concessions. Because again, the pay raise stuff might be good, the cash bonus stuff might be good, but if the main crux of the disagreement was time off, and they're only getting 1 unpaid day off, you can't break them off with a week, dog. You can't give them a week paid time off. I mean, it's a little silly, isn't it? It's a little silly. And so we'll see what happens.
60,000 union workers plan to just not show up, messing up deliveries.
I read it was as high as over 100,000, but I don't know. Maybe they have some updated information that I don't.
Of oil, grain, car parts for automakers, no doubt adding to price pressures.
Sure, but the unions have leverage at this moment.
Absolutely.
Right.
They've got enormous leverage, especially when the president's on their side.
All right, here we're going. Here we go. We're going to begin here with the president's on their side, bro. That's so terrible. President who cares about workers even a teeny little eensy beensy bit. This is crazy.
They'll have to officially vote. And word is that when he was calling into the negotiations, he expressed concern for the workers and their families, not really for the rail companies.
Oh, I do understand that. All right, thanks, Lauren. Look at futures, please. Left-hand side of the screen.
They should change the name of Fox Business to the Robber Baron Network. Because this is how they talk. They just brought that up, implying, like, that's fucking crazy. The guy cared about the workers and their families and not the rail companies? Jesus Christ. How evil is that? How wrong is that? Thurston Howell III would be very disappointed. Where's my fainting couch? Somebody give me some pearls to clutch. I have to run that back, that last part. That was something else.
We had news break.
No doubt, adding to price pressures.
Sure, but the unions have leverage at this moment.
Absolutely.
They've got enormous leverage, especially when the president's on their side.
They still have to officially vote. And word is that when he was calling into the negotiations, he expressed concern for the workers and their families, not really for the rail companies.
Oh, I do understand that. All right, thanks, Lauren. Look at futures, please. Left-hand side of the screen.
These guys are great, man. These guys are unbelievable. Look, when you get to, it's funny because Fox News, oftentimes they posture as caring about regular working people, right? It's the fake populism of the right. It's, you know, they act like we want to keep your jobs here. We want to lower your taxes. It's all bullshit because they outsource more than anybody. And they cut taxes for the rich, not really the working class nearly as much, right? But they posture as being pro-worker. What's interesting is that when you get to the business networks, when you get to CNBC and Fox Business Network, they're honestly even worse. They are very, well, I don't know, you could say it's worse or better depending on your perspective, but they don't mask it. Fox News masks their agenda helping the rich. Fox Business Network and CNBC, they very clearly are the mouthpiece of corporate America. They are the mouthpiece for the CEOs and the owner class. And because guess what, guys? I got news for you. That's who watches Fox Business. That's who watches CNBC. I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember this, but leading up to the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession, the 2008 crash, you had CNBC bring on the heads of these big financial institutions to tell everybody right before the market tanked, like, oh no, we're good. I swear, keep investing with us, keep investing with our companies, and all the bull market stuff is nonsense. Or all the bear market stuff is nonsense. This is a bull market. I promise we're in a good spot here. And then a bunch of these companies went belly up. Of course, a lot of them got bailed out. But, you know, you had like the classic example of, what was it, Lehman Brothers, where you had like Jim Cramer saying, I'm going to buy Lehman Brothers right before the crash. This is something Jon Stewart destroyed the guy over. Because it's just like one long advertisement for corporations and CEOs and Wall Street. That's what Fox Business is. So to them, they know who their audience is. That's why they're kind of open about the fact, like, can you believe Biden was looking out for workers and their families? And by the way, that's not even really true. I mean, maybe he expressed the concern on the phone, but if the deal you got ended up just giving them 1 day off and it's unpaid, that's like, you didn't do a great job here on behalf of the workers, right? But like, it's amazing. And this is why the right-wing opposition to Biden is always so incredible to watch. Because, like, I understand left-wing opposition to Biden, where they're like, dude, you're not going nearly far enough. I mean, take the student loan debt reduction, for example. A good argument on that front is, really, that's all you're going to do? Just a little bit of a reduction here and there? I mean, you should really eliminate it, because we should have free college. A college degree today is what a high school degree used to be. People need this to have a chance at a decent life. That's a good issue with Biden. These guys take even the tiny little parts of Biden that are half decent, and they act like that's the most egregious stuff he does. You know, like when he, the Inflation Reduction Act, right? It raises the corporate tax rate. It becomes a minimum of 15%. A lot of these companies pay 0 now. This is stuff that these guys take issue with. The lowering prescription drug prices for some drugs. They flip out over that. I mean, we covered a story where you had a Republican congressman on air saying, oh, we can't wait to roll that back. Literally arguing, I want higher drug prices for the American people. That's crazy. Again, a good criticism of Biden on that issue is to say, why is it only some drugs that you're negotiating lower prices, and why does it kick in over like a 3-year or 5-year period? That's crazy. You need to go a lot further than that. But no, they argue like you shouldn't have done it at all, period. Like, he shouldn't have said anything on the side of the workers. He should have come in on the side of the rail companies, right? This is how these people think. Jesus Christ, man. Stuart Varney. What a pompous prick. Whoever that guest was, what a pompous prick. So anyway, this deal is almost certainly going to get voted down. I guess we'll find out. Maybe there's an outside chance it doesn't get voted down, but the rail workers have leverage. I'm glad they have that leverage, and I hope they can get at least like a week paid time off, not unpaid time off, because, you know, look, it's time. The balance needs to shift in favor of the workers, because for the longest time in this neoliberal era, it's been on the side of the owners. And that's how we get a situation where we have massive income and wealth inequality. It's not a coincidence. When unions were strongest in this country, we had much less income and wealth inequality. It just wasn't nearly as much because workers have power. They can negotiate decent contracts. You can have a thriving middle class. Well, as Tom Hartman says, there's been an undeclared war on the middle class for a generation now. This is the neoliberal era, but thankfully the tides are shifting, even if it's just a little bit. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.